What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. And with this video, we're going to be jumping into the Darkhold. This is going to be the alpha issue, and we have a story that is getting written by Steve Orlando. And for hundreds of years, scholars and heroes alike, they have searched for the complete text of the Darkhold, the book that was written by the elder god Chthon, and with one of the greatest sorcerers in all of history to find that book. Chthon has found him as well, and so it's going to take a team of heroes to go and save the day in Otherrealm. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we're picking up underneath the United States in Abysmia, and deep down here we have individuals digging, and they have been digging, working for one sorcerer in particular. And as they do their digging, they find the book, the Chthon Scrolls. And with this book's discovery, we see a vision of the future, a vision of the possibility that could come now that the true Darkhold has been discovered. And what we see is a vision of absolute chaos. The world descended into absolute madness, with our heroes doing everything they can to defend Earth. But if Chthon rises, we would see the fall of everything. And as this vision comes to an end, this is where we see the Scarlet Witch. Wanda awakes from her sleep. With this just being a nightmare, she realizes that this means the Darkhold has been discovered, that it will only be a matter of time before that nightmare becomes a reality, because she knows now with that vision that Chthon is on his way. And picking back up underneath the United States, we have Victorious, kind of the second in command for Dr. Doom. And as they are sitting here having minions read the book, because whoever reads it goes mad, so of course Dr. Doom isn't going to read it directly. And at least that's what we're presuming as of right now. But what we do learn is that the elder god Chthon, he stripped his own brother's flesh, recorded his work, and for that he was banished to Otherrealm. And with the other gods filling Chthon's book with wards against him, the pages were copied to stone and then to parchment, and we now know it as the Darkhold. But in the midst of this conversation, this is where we see the Scarlet Witch descend upon them, letting them know that whoever does read this book, they go mad, telling them that they cannot control this book. The only one who can is the Scarlet Witch. And we see a fight break out between Victorious and Scarlet Witch. And we see the Scarlet Witch just completely wrecking her. Now, believing that this should be impossible because she has the power cosmic, believing that it could not be quilled by her. Yet that is exactly what is happening. And she really tries to talk some sense to her, tries to let her know that she knows, of all people, how Dr. Doom can bend people to his will, and that there is no need for either of them to fight. But this is where she gets interrupted by Dr. Doom himself, saying that they may have had relations, they may have known each other at one point in time, but she does not know Doom. And Scarlet Witch, she immediately demands to know what Dr. Doom is up to, why he has dug this book up, and what point is there to it? Knowing the danger, why would you do something like this? And in Dr. Doom's eyes, danger is power. And there can only be one steward of power. And of course, that's Dr. Doom himself, believing that his duty as a leader is to be the one who controls the Darkhold. And Scarlet Witch tries to let him know, like, you haven't felt that god's touch. You haven't felt Chthon possess you, because what you just did, it opened up a path for him to come directly to Earth. But Dr. Doom sees it as taking away the one key that anybody has control over Chthon, by taking that key to his freedom, with Chthon being a rival in his eyes. And in the normal Dr. Doom fashion, he tells her that, this conversation is over. I gave you this moment because of who you are, because of how we know each other. But that moment has now passed, and you're gonna get the freak out of my way. And of course, Wanda, this just infuriates her. because the quote-unquote time they spent together was her powers being stolen. And even then, Dr. Doom, he couldn't be able to control all of that, telling him that the true power of the Darkhold is something he will never be able to maintain, something he could never control, that reading just the first page would drive any living individual completely mad. But Dr. Doom, being Dr. Doom, always has a trick up his sleeve, and he reads this text through his Doombots. And this is where she realizes that it was Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is the one that awoken him, that awoke this god. That nightmare she saw, that was a tainted nightmare that he sent through another dimension to show that the path has now been opened. That Chthon now has a way of making his way to Earth. And the only choice they have now is to stop him, to stop his escape from Otherrealm. And Scarlet Witch gives Dr. Doom an ultimatum, saying that they are now bonded in this together, and he only has two options. He can suffer the reign of Chthon, or they can work together and they can bring him down. Because if he can read the true text of the Darkhold, that means he absolutely has the means of doing this. And Doom tells her that he has also been suffering from visions, and that he agrees with her. And he brings her to a vibograph. They use this vibrational technology to surveil the surface, more or less being able to listen through rock. But Dr. Doom, he is using this to be able to pierce dimensions, not just stone. And with the true Darkhold, he will use it more or less as a lodestar. And so as they begin to read the book, Dr. Doom reads it, and Scarlet Witch, she interprets it, trying to find some kind of way of being able to defeat this god, to be able to keep him in Otherrealm. And as they read through this, they learn of the Darkhold Defenders, 5 warriors who once drove this god back into his Otherrealm prison. They had the Dreamer, the Fool, the Stoic, the Hunter, and the Artist. These 5 defeated him for a time, but in entering Otherrealm, it cost them their sanity. And Scarlet Witch, thinking that maybe a divining spell could reform such a group, or they could get a modern team with the same magical aspects, thinking that this could be their best shot against Chthon. But even if they could do something like this, the cost of it could cost them their sanity. Now, as Scarlet Witch goes on about what they need to prepare for, Dr. Doom, he's just like, I'm going in. I'm ready to do this. I don't need any 5 members. I don't need a team. This god has no idea what he is about to face. And we see Dr. Doom take the Darkhold over to his machine. Placing it on the machine, we see an electrical charge come out of the book, letting the Scarlet Witch know that she need not worry, that Dr. Doom will take care of this god, and that Doom will come to Chthon. And just like that, Dr. Doom is teleported to Otherrealm. And of course, Victorious, she wanted to go with him, or at least prevent him from going. But with him being himself, not listening to anybody or anything, Scarlet Witch and Victorious, they think it's a good idea to form this team, the Darkhold Defenders. And with her having the power cosmic, she has the ability to bring all 5 of these individuals here. And through a seeking spell, they find each of the individuals that is going to help them along the way. The first one is Iron Man, aka the Dreamer. The second one is Blade, aka the Hunter. The next one is Wasp, aka the Artist. The next one being Black Bolt, the Stoic. And last but not least, we have Spider-Man, aka the Fool. And we see them all teleported here by Victorious. In a flash, in one instant, every single one of them are standing before Scarlet Witch. And without wasting any time, she has come to let them know, bringing them all together here, that one of her greatest fears is about to come to fruition. That Chthon is rising again. Not only is he rising, but he is rising in his strongest form yet. In his complete form. That's why all of them are here. And she lays everything on the table, laying out the madness that will occur if they end up in Otherworld, or the possibility of losing sanity. that he has always needed some kind of vessel like the Scarlet Witch to be able to use the true Darkhold, and with it being unearthed today by Dr. Doom, and with Dr. Doom racing off to go do battle in other realm, they have a lot going on right now. Now the Scarlet Witch, she knows that Dr. Doom, he's going to get chewed up and he is going to be spit back out. And so they need the defenders. They need the Darkhold defenders. And so with them all knowing the risk, with them all knowing what is at stake, one by one, they make the decision if they are going to join or not. And for the most part, everybody is on board. Everybody except for Black Bolt. Because Black Bolt, he's been doing a lot of work with the Inhumans. And he feels like this work is just too important. It's too important to walk away and risk losing his sanity, risk never returning to the Inhumans. And because of that, he has to decline this offer. But as he says this, we see a giant energy blast hit right in the middle of the room. And as this blast hits the ground, we see none other than Dr. Doom making his return. But with Dr. Doom returning, he is not in good shape. He is badly melting all over the place. The jaw in his mask has been completely removed, and it looks like he got a freaking beatdown. And as everybody stares at him, they want to know what the heck happened over in Other Realm. What happened to Doom? Over there, he saw a pulverized metropolis of madness, where no moral had any standing. No one sane was walking the lands. And upon arriving there, he just got overwhelmed, completely outnumbered. We saw them start to rip him to pieces. But of course, Dr. Doom, he's not going to divulge any information to them, saying that anything he saw over there, anything that he learned over there, is all for his eyes only. And he lets all of them know that Chthon made a huge mistake leaving him alive. Because now being alive, considering everything that happened, that Victorious is going to stay behind to be able to aid them in their endeavor, saying that it is going to be an inevitable fail, that they will not survive this. And when Chthon does make his way to Earth, Doom is going to be standing ready, having his defenses built up. And after realizing that Dr. Doom got his butt freaking whooped, all of the team starts to recognize the severity of the situation. And so Black Bolt, he's convinced by this and the others to join this team. And so the Scarlet Witch tells them that they all need to read from the Darkhold, but to be careful not to read too much, because if they do read too much, they will go insane. They need only enough to temper themselves with some madness. And as each one of these individuals, they take their turn reading from the book, they look around at each other, not seeing any difference, not feeling anything different. But all in one moment, that changes. Something changes inside of them. And Scarlet Witch, she realizes that they read too much. They read too deeply. And they let her know, you wanted the Darkhold defenders. But what did you expect to happen? Because instead of the defenders, what you were getting is the Darkhold defiled. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think this is a great introduction into this. You guys know how much I love a great story with some Dr. Doom in it. And that's exactly what this is building up to be. Now, of course, Dr. Doom, being his egotistical self, he really believed that he could go take on this god and come back victorious. But he learned very quickly that that's not the case. Proven wrong, he retreats back home to build up his defenses, leaving Scarlet Witch and Victorious to try to find these defenders, have them read from the book, and hopefully take out this god. Keep him in Other Realm. But it seems that they read a little too far and it's backfired on them. And instead of the defenders, they're now getting the defiled. And so this book's definitely caught my attention. I am very interested to see which direction they're going to go, how they're going to use these characters, and what they have in store for Dr. Doom as this all comes to a close. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.